You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Welcome back. Morning's Lone Star. 10:32 in the morning. 42 degrees outside. It's going to go up another 20 degrees or so. Kind of chill out there. And then we're going to get down to the 50s tonight. Kind of 50s and 40s all week long. Hanging on to that balmy weather. 10:32. We are sponsored by Conroe Coffee, Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, and Centurion Wealth Advisors. Taking care of my money so I don't have to. We have Danielle Sokol in the studio, Leaping Butterfly Ministry. How you doing, Danielle?
Oh,
just rocking and rolling. It's good to have you in the studio.
I appreciate you having me.
Oh, it's good to have you here. So you have a gala coming up, the 5th Annual Seeds of Faith Gala on the 22nd. We're going to talk about that. But let's talk about Leaping Butterfly, who they are, what they do, why you're here.
Great. So Leaping Butterfly Ministry is a Christ-centered organization that's creating awareness and support for girls and women touched by Turner syndrome. And it was created about 10 years ago after our co-founder, Debbie Brown, she lost her daughter 10 years ago due to heart complications, a heart surgery. And she wrote a book, and then that kind of evolved into a nonprofit that she wanted to create to spread awareness about this genetic disorder.
So Debbie's daughter, Kelly, was affected. These are complications from Turner syndrome.
Correct.
Okay, I'll be honest, before I heard of Leaping Butterfly, no idea what Turner syndrome is. It's one of those ones that I think the word hasn't been spread, and I know we're trying to fix that, so talk to me about Turner syndrome.
So Turner syndrome is actually the second most common genetic disorder out there, which is pretty crazy when you think about all the other things that you have heard about. And it's a random chromosomal disorder caused by partially or completely missing X chromosome. And it affects only females. So there's about 1 in 2,000 females that have it. So 1,000 new baby girls are born with Turner syndrome annually, which is 1 every 8 hours. When you think about it like that, it's a pretty big portion of our society that has it, and it is a spectrum disorder. So there can be some more mild symptoms, and then all the way to more severe symptoms. So it can actually go undetected for quite some time if you don't know kind of what to look out for and some of the symptoms or conditions that you should be looking out for.
Are there, the BRCA test for breast cancer, are possibilities? Are there tests for Turner syndrome, or do you just keep an eye out on possible symptoms?
So you can actually, it's called a karyotype test, and you can actually get it done in vitro. So if you're a pregnant woman, you can actually request a karyotype test from your doctor. One of the problems that we're having is that not a lot of doctors offer that. It's not, today, and every woman that is pregnant, a Down syndrome test is boom, that's automatic standard. Karyotype isn't. So the karyotype test will actually determine if your child is going to have Turner syndrome or not.
Is the and if you don't know these, I'm asking some questions kind of off script. Is the disease itself fatal, or is it complications from the disease that can be fatal?
It is not fatal in itself, but depending on the severity of the conditions, it can be fatal. So, for example, Debbie Brown's daughter, Kelly, she had to have a valve replaced in her heart, and that surgery was successful until 3 weeks later when she developed an infection and she passed away. So a lot of women, probably the most common issue is heart defects and heart abnormalities. There's constrictions in the artery, and at some point, these women will probably have to have some type of heart surgery in their life. Hearing loss is another big one. One of the main things that Leaping Butterfly does is raise funds for hearing aids.
Really?
Hearing aids is actually considered a luxury item for insurance. So insurance does not cover hearing aids for these girls. So a pair of hearing aids can cost as much as $3,000, and that's like a pretty basic hearing aid. So lots of hearing issues and hearing loss, which, as you can only imagine, as you get older in life and you get out into the real world and then you're an adult, it's, your job and your relationships. And I mean, hearing is kind of an important thing. So it's kind of crazy that insurance considers it a luxury item, or sometimes even like a cosmetic type of thing. Another big one is infertility. These girls don't have functioning ovaries, so they're not able to get pregnant. Some of them can carry, in vitro and stuff like that, but they're not able to do it themselves. So there's a whole list: kidney, liver, non-verbal learning difficulties, autoimmune disorders, so they have hypothyroidism, they can have celiac disease, low estrogen production, which can then lead to osteoporosis because your bone density isn't as strong, scoliosis, type 2 diabetes, delayed puberty. I mean, the list is a mile long, and
It sounds like there are plenty of symptoms to be on the eye out for that if a good number of them start to manifest themselves.
there is. A lot of these women don't go diagnosed till about their preteen or teen years when they don't start their cycles. Mm-hmm. Then they go to the doctor, and then it's like, oh yeah, you have Turner syndrome. And what's been, if you can catch it early on, you can do some estrogen therapies and growth hormones, because one of the other conditions is very short stature. If you're untreated, you're going to be about 4'7" or so. So if you can catch it early enough and get that therapy and those hormones and those growth, all those good things, it can definitely improve some of these conditions going on further into life.
Is this a genetic disorder?
It is.
Okay.
And it's not inherited. It's just a completely random fluke thing that happens in vitro.
Okay. Let's talk about the gala coming up, the Seeds of Faith gala. This is 5th annual. When, where, purpose of it, any fun things that are happening? You're going to have fire breathers, jugglers, Dick over there?
Unfortunately, none of those amazing, exciting features.
Oh, I like how she pulled that one out. Well done. Well played.
So our 5th annual event is going to be February 22nd from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Woodlands Country Club. That is our big annual fundraiser. That is where we raise money for a lot of hearing aids. We're starting a kind of a spiritual retreat in 2019, a place where these women can go and kind of get a little sense of purpose and be around other girls and women and possibly parents that are kind of going through this, to realize I'm not alone in this, for some support. So we have some really great auction items, and we're having a really fun, big announcement for our 5th annual, and tickets are still available at leapingbutterfly.org.
So that is www.leapingbutterfly.org.
Yes.
And so you got tickets. Any sponsorship opportunities still available?
There are still sponsorship
I know, right? Say it 5 times
opportunities. Fast. I can't. Don't make me. So it's a really great opportunity. We have, I'm going to totally butcher his name, Mark Keogh.
Keogh, you got it right.
Is going to be our Master of Ceremonies this year.
Okay.
And I am one of the co-chairs, as well as my good friend Ashley Pope. Her daughter does have Turner syndrome. She was one of the lucky ones. She found out when she was about 10 weeks pregnant. So they were able to immediately start those therapies and all those good things that can be done to help her daughter. And her daughter just turned 3.
Wow. So people listen up. Turner syndrome, number 2 genetic disorder?
It's the second most common genetic disorder.
Second most common. So I don't see any telethons for this. I don't see a lot of Hollywood people talking about it. So let's change that. Let's get the word spread about Turner syndrome. And it all starts with Leaping Butterfly Ministry. Go to www.leapingbutterfly.org and get your tickets or be a sponsor for their 5th annual Seeds of Faith Gala, February 22nd at the Woodlands Country Club. Dick, you got anything?
If you're just now tuning in, we're going to be podcasting this segment and YouTubing it. So if for more information, all that kind of stuff, and then especially on our Facebook, we're going to be sharing the event. So there's more information at Mornings of Lone Star. Just look up the folks over on Facebook, Leaping Butterfly Ministry, and stuff like that. So it's really easy to find this stuff, all the information. Just go on Facebook.
Danielle Sokol, thank you so much for being on the air with us this morning.
I really appreciate y'all having us.
Our pleasure.
Anytime. You're listening to Mornings with Lone Star, irlonestar.com. We got to take a short commercial break here. We'll be back after these messages.
Thank you for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station. Don't forget to check out this show and many others across the Lone Star Community Radio Network, either live on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, the Lone Star Internet Radio app, or irlonestar.com's live audio stream, and on replay on podcast, Channel 12's Our City TV in Conroe, or Channel 21 KVQT in Houston, and of course their YouTube channel. This production is copyrighted and all rights are reserved by Lone Star Community Radio. Have a question regarding this program or other Lone Star Community Radio shows? Want to sponsor or start your own show? Call the station message line at 936-647-3776 or email the station at lscrstudios@gmail.com.